Hey everybody, I'm John at Collect Cards. It's Sunday, January 29th. Hope you're having a nice weekend here. It's the championship weekend in the NFL. So if you got the Bengals or Chiefs or Eagles or Niners, good luck to you. But what I'm doing here with baseball, that's what I usually do, or always do, I guess. I'm into baseball card collecting. I'm looking to start a new so it's like a new segment on this channel, and we'll see how it goes. I'm calling it to grade or not to grade, and basically, I'm thinking about like I'm going to show three cards here in a little bit. I have three cards here that I'm going to talk about briefly first, but I'm going to show three cards that I could see grading, but like I'm really on the fence on whether to do so or not, and so I'd just be curious to know about your opinions on it. And so, I have three examples here, all from 1961 tops, that I think are good examples of that. So, first one here is this Warren Spahn. It's PSA 80C off center. So, I think usually you kind of downgrade two spots when you sort of take the qualifier off. So, it's almost more like a 6. And I got all three of these in like late 2020, maybe early 2021. I kind of bought a few commons lots of 61, and I was actually thinking about building the set for a while because for some reason this set kind of, I don't know, I kind of like it. And I think it's an underrated set, but I kind of moved away from that. I still buy a 61 every so often, but so like each of these cards here I paid between $20 and $30 for. And with the cost of grading today, it's like, is it worth grading a card like this? So this one came out, 80C. Spahn is not, he's a Hall of Famer. He's, I think, the winningest left-hander of all time. But his cards are, I don't know if they're undervalued or if they just don't have like big-time Hall of Famer value like maybe they should. So it's like, if that was a raw card, would I grade that now? I don't know. I'd be curious to know what you think. Here's a 1960 home run leaders from the NL. So it's got Banks and Aaron and Matthews on here, and Ken Boyer as well. This one graded a 5, and I think I got this one for about $15, maybe 15 to 20, I think, when I got it. So it's like it's probably not worth grading today, but it's a cool card to have in a collection. I love having it slabbed. So that's an interesting example. And then here's one from the 1961. They did an MVP kind of run in the general checklist, so it's not an insert or anything. They didn't really do inserts back then, of course, but this is a Roy Campanella graded 5.5, and again, it's a card in the $20 to $30 range at most, and it's like, with the grading costs now, do you grade a card like this today? So these are three examples that I picked up of cards that I really like having, and I got them at a good price. But now I'm going to show you three raw cards, and I'd be curious to know what you think about whether they're worth grading or not. And two of them are vintage, and one is actually modern. And I don't hardly, in fact, I've never actually sent a card out for modern grading, a modern card out for grading, and I'm not sure if I ever will. But I'll show one here in a bit and ask for your thoughts on it. But the first one I'm going to show is a mid-career card of a Hall of Famer. He's a recent Hall of Famer. And the card's in pretty nice condition. But again, it's a Hall of Famer who's not at like the top tier of value and probably undervalued. Maybe values will pick up more in years to come because he's a new Hall of Famer, a recent Hall of Famer. That's Minnie Minoso. Minnie Minoso, this is his 1959 tops with Cleveland here. I think this was his first year after he left the White Sox. So actually, he started, I believe, with Cleveland, as it turns out. I'm not sure if I actually knew that, because I knew, most of his main years are with the White Sox. He's sort of most known for them, but he did play a few years with Cleveland as well, with the Indians, and he came off another nice year here in 1958. So about this card, it's off center left, as you can tell, but the corners, two of the corners up the top corners are really nice, really nice. Bottom right corner is pretty nice. It's got a little bit of wear. Really, it's just a touch, really, though. That corner is pretty nice, too. The left corner, the corner is there, but it has, like, it's got like a little like indentation, or not indentation, imperfection. You see that right there. So it's like, but the corner's there. So it really has all four corners, and they're fairly sharp. And then here's the back. The back has got a little bit of a printing issue on it with the, especially here in this row. I looked at other 59s, and the red background in this like row area is all over the place. Like a lot of it like bleeds off of the green, and it's just not aligned. And in this case, I think, because I really looked at it closely, even like, under maximum like zoomed in on my phone camera lens. I don't really have a loop or anything, but like that's not writing. I'm like 99% certain that's not someone like putting a pencil in that row like here. I just think it's like the ink for the lettering is all misaligned, and you could almost see like parts of other letters, and just the printing is messed up on part of this. But it's, there are a lot of cards in that set like this. It's probably pretty common, but the corners are, again, really nice. But it's he's not Hank Aaron. He's not Al Kaline. He's not, or even, Al Kaline and Willie Mays, or, I think Minnie Minoso's cards have value to gain, but I'm unsure about grading it. So I'd be curious to know what you think. If I sent it in, my thought is it probably could get as high as a 6, maybe even a 7, despite the off-centering. But, resales, I'm not sure what it would get, even though I wouldn't be looking to sell it, but I don't know if it's worth the $24 or $22 if I do SGC, which I would do for this, if it's worth grading. So what do you think about that one? The second card I'm going to show is another vintage card. It's a rookie card, actually, of a Hall of Famer. It's another recent Hall of Famer, and he went in the same year as Minnie, I believe, just last year in 2022. And that is Tony Oliva from 1963 Topps. So I really enjoy having this card. I got it in a lot with a few other cards that that came with it that were all pretty good, and two of them I've gotten graded. And I got this lot for $75 in 2020 from a collector in my area who was, I guess, just looking to downsize. And I came away with a Steve Carlton rookie that graded a 4, and a Gaylord Perry rookie that graded a 5, both from SGC in recent videos I've done in the last 4 to 6 months. Well, actually, the Perry I just got it graded a month or two ago, but so this one came with it too. The issue with this is that it's got a crease right down here, but it's also Ed Kranepool's rookie, actually. It's also off-center right, and the corners have kind of like the natural wear you'd expect to have on what is now a 60-year-old card. It also has some surface issues with, kind of like it's a little dirty, as you can tell. But it presents pretty well, except for this piece here, which doesn't go all the way across by any means. It goes just about to where the Ed is in Ed Kranepool. The Oliva part of the card is pretty good. The back is, the off-centeredness really shows on the back. On the back, it almost looks like a miscut. But then there are the corners there. And then so I can find where that crease is. Okay, so over here, the crease is really evident. Like, you could almost see like the lift. There's like lift on the card almost that you could see. Like, I don't want to say it bubbles up, but you could sort of see it right here. You could sort of see that a little bit. It's hard to pick up on here. I guess I'm not getting the angle quite right, but the crease does come through there a little bit. I think maybe you could sort of see it there. So the bottom line is on this, would you send this in to get graded? I was looking at recent eBay sales, and this, in probably 3 or so in terms of a grade number, is selling for more than what a mid-grade of Minoso would get, from what I can tell. But again, I don't know if this would even grade a 3. It might be a 2.5 because of this crease right there. So do you still get this graded regardless? I'd be curious to know what you think about that one. Either way, I really enjoy having it in the collection, but nice vintage cards like these look even better in slabs. But I'm getting ready actually to send in a 10-card order soon, and neither of these cards are going to be in it. and I don't know if I will send them in at some point or not, but definitely on the fence about it. That's like I'm definite no. It's definitely not a no, and it's definitely not a yes either. I'm like so completely on the fence with them. So curious to know what you think. To grade or not to grade? And the last one I'm going to show here is actually a modern card from last year's 2022 Topps update. It is of the biggest chase rookie in the set, and that of course is J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. So this is his All-Star insert card, and I just happen to think rookies who make All-Star teams, it's kind of special. He was obviously the runaway rookie of the year as well. There are, if you went to eBay now and searched for this card, you'd probably get 100, at least 100 cards that are, up for sale of this. So it's like, I think the thought would be to only send this in to get graded if you think it could be a 10. And probably only to PSA in this case, whereas I'm fine with sending these both to SGC, partly or mostly because I'd like them back as soon as possible, and they get them back to you a lot sooner than PSA does. And I just happen to like their customer service and their resale value. Although I'm holding almost every card I send to get graded, their resale values and vintage are near PSA. Maybe they're not quite PSA for every card, but they're way in the ballpark, which to me is fine on a long-term kind of thing. But for this one, if I were to grade this and look to sell it, it would be PSA all the way, because that's the value. But I think this card's value, I just checked yesterday, I think this card in a 10 is selling for $30. So it's like, why bother? But at the same time, he could be pretty special. So it's like, is it worth getting in a grade, sending this out in a bulk submission with a bulk submitter, and pay the 18 or $20 or whatever that might be, and just kind of hold on to it. And if he continues to do what looks like he's got the talent to do longer term, is it something worth doing? I do think this has a shot at a 10, although I've never sent out a card that's gotten back a 10, so I truly maybe don't know what a 10 constitutes, what constitutes a 10. But the centering's really good. The corners are also sharp. Dare I say even razor sharp. The card overall looks really good. It's an insert, but it's just a base insert, so to speak. It's not the it's not a parallel. It's not like the blue color or anything like that. I'm not sure what resale would be. Maybe long term. Who knows? But I wonder. What do you think? Would you send this out to get graded anyway? Is he that special of a long term player where it's just worth getting any top shelf card in terms of condition of his graded? Be curious to know what you think. And so there you have it. There are 3 cards that I'm kind of in a quandary of, to grade or not to grade, whether in the next month or next year or whatever. So let me know what you think. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.